What's up, everyone? It's the Jersey Sports Guys here. I'm Kyle.
I'm Aaron.
And today we decided, so yesterday the NFL season got schedule fully dropped. We knew the games, like the games that the teams would play, but we figured out what week, the bye week and all that. So we decided today we're going to split it up this week and next week. Today we're going to do NFC standings and the 7 teams we have in the playoffs.
All right, so first in the NFC, we're going to have the NFC East up. So,
Yeah, so my predictions for the NFC East are kind of shocking, actually. I'll go from worst to best. Worst, a lot of people aren't going to like me because we're New Jersey, but I have the New York Giants, 6-10. I like them. They have a tough schedule, and this is where it gets trippy. Third place, I have the Philadelphia Eagles at 7-9. Don't kill me, but I think they're the third best team. At second, this is the shocker, the Washington Redskins at 9-7. I love their defense. Ron Rivera's there. He's going to be a great coach for them. Dwayne Haskins is, I think, going to be an amazing quarterback. So then, number one, obviously, they got CeeDee Lamb. They had a great draft. Mike McCarthy's their new head coach. I have the Dallas Cowboys.
wow, that's a shocker with the Eagles. So for me, the worst in the division I have is the Redskins at 6-10. Now, I know you like their defense a lot, and I also do, and I think Ron Rivera is going to do a great job with the defensive coaching, but I'm not so sure about their offense, and I don't know how Dwayne Haskins is going to do, and even if he does do good, Terry McLaurin's a big receiver threat. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yep. And then for the I got the Giants next at 7-9. I think they had a pretty good draft, but their defense is a bit shaky. So we'll see. Then at the third in the division, I got the Eagles at 8-8. They had a not so great draft, and Wentz needs to stay healthy. And first in the division, I got the Dallas Cowboys at 10-6, who did have a great draft, and their offense is going to be good. And if Dak holds out, they do have Andy Dalton now. So
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think Andy Dalton would be fine as their starter. I still think they'd win the division with him. He's not a bad quarterback.
no, not at all. All right. Moving on to the NFC West.
So,
Who do you
first
got?
place, the shocker here. I got the San Francisco 49ers. Second place, I think this is another shocker here, the Seattle Seahawks. I think those two teams are going to be given to make the playoffs. 49ers defense looks insane again, and their offensive line's insane. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. So then third, I have the Kyler Murray Arizona Cardinals. I think they take a big step now. They had a pretty good draft getting Isaiah Simmons. They got D-Hop, obviously, in the offseason. And, yeah, I think they're going to be primed in a year or two to have a really good team. And then last, it feels weird saying this. They were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, the Los Angeles Rams. They have a good team. They don't have a lot of cap. They got rid of Gurley. There's some problems. Nobody's 100% sure on Goff, how good he's going to be. So, yeah, that's mine. What about you?
Yeah, NFC West. I got the 49ers going 3-13. I think they have a great defense. And Jimmy G, all he has to do is really hand off the ball and not overthrow his receivers. I think Brandon Ayuk was a good pick. And they did get Trent Williams to help that offensive line a bit. And then Seahawks, I got them at 11-5. Defense is a little shaky. They got a lot of young players, but the offense should be good with Russell Wilson. I think Metcalf's gonna have a good year. Third, I got the Cardinals going 9-7. I know this is a kind of bold. Probably a lot of people don't, think that they're gonna do great. I think Kyler's gonna have a great year, and their receiving core is amazing. So, a lot better now with Isaiah Simmons. And then lastly, I have the Rams at 8-8. The receiving core took a downgrade by losing why can't I remember his name? Brandon Cooks. There we go. And their defense is okay. They're not great. And Goff, I don't know. I have a feeling he's not gonna have a great
I
year.
like most of your opinions, just like the one thing with Trent Williams. Joe Staley ended up retiring, so he's just replacing him. But I agree. I think Cardinals will
Yeah.
have a good year, like an 8-8, 9-7. 49ers will go like 12-4, 13-3. Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Now we got the NFC South.
All right, so last
So,
place for me. Shout out to my boy Tom. I know you're not gonna like this, but I have your Carolina Panthers at 6-10. Then at 7-9, I have the Atlanta Falcons, who are third in the division. They're okay. I like Matty Ice. I like Julio. They did get Todd Gurley. It's just that secondary isn't what it used to be, and there's two other pretty good football teams in their division. So at second, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, Brady, Gronk. I think they'll just slip into the playoffs. I don't think they'll be as like insane as people are predicting, but I think they'll get the job done and make the playoffs. And then number one in that division, obviously, it's the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, a great offensive line, a great defense. I think that they're primed to win that division again.
yeah, I have the same rankings as you for this one too. I got the Panthers though going 5-11. McCaffrey is like their only offensive threat as of right now. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, they're both not number one receivers unless they could take some big steps, and their defense is not not too great. So now I got the Falcons at 7-9 as well. They got a lot of free agents, but Gurley, we'll see how he does with his injury concerns. Their defense, as you said, their secondary is not that great, and but they still have a pretty good receiving core with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. So we'll see how they're able to do. And then next, I have the Buccaneers at 8-8. Gronk hasn't played in a year, and Brady, I think he's going to be, not as well as everybody's expecting him to be. I think he's going to be, average probably, maybe even above average. But we'll see how they plan around him. They're probably doing a lot of running, and their defense, it's not bad, but it's not great either. So, and then first in the division, I got the Saints at 11-5. They probably have the best roster in football, but they're going to have to rely on their team to come up big. They can't choke in those big games anymore, and they have to come up big when it matters. But their defense, you said it was good. I mean, I kind of disagree with that. They don't have a ton of great defensive players. I mean, they got Marshawn Lattimore, Cameron Jordan,
Demario
but
Davis,
they're gonna have Demario Davis, but they're gonna have to see. They're gonna have to
they
make
got
some
Malcolm
magic.
Jenkins.
Yeah, Malcolm Jenkins is getting up there in age too, though, so we got to see how he
I
produces.
agree. Like, obviously, we have the same standings, but the one thing I disagree with you that you said is the Buccaneers' defense isn't that good. They have a great defense. Shaquille Barrett, Sean Murphy Bunting, Dean, Carlton
Yeah,
Davis,
but
Vita
it's
Vea.
a lot of young players too. It's a lot of young players that they're gonna have to develop,
But
and
they developed
it's
last year.
unpredictable with them.
But the thing is, they developed
Yeah, but
last year. Like, look at Vita Vea. He's great.
yeah, but they could have one good season and then take a downgrade. We just have to wait and see. I just don't trust their defense fully yet because there's a lot of young talent there.
Okay, I can see that.
All right, now on to the NFC North.
All right. Last place in the division, the Minnesota Vikings. I
What?
have them. This is going to get confusing. I have the Vikings at 8-8. I think they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. I think Justin Jefferson was a good signing, but he's not going to be a Stephon Diggs year one. Their defense, oh my God, they lost half their defense, so it's a whole new defense for them. And the 8-8's a pretty good record, but I also have the Lions and the Bears. Spoiler alert, both at eight and
I
eight.
can't.
So in third, I have the Lions, as I just said, 8-8. I love Matt Stafford. I think he's a great quarterback. Kenny Galladay. The line's a little bit of an issue, but they got T.J. Hawkinson, two good running backs, and Kerryon Johnson, DeAndre Swift. The defense is okay. It's got Jeff Okudah, Desmond Trufant, Snacks Harrison. It's not terrible. I think they could surprise some people this year. And then second place, the Chicago Bears at 8-8. See, whether Foles or Trubisky's the starter, I think they'll be fine. They have a great line. They have two good running backs in Montgomery and Tariq Cohen. Receivers, they got Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller. They got Cole Kmet from the draft, who I think is going to be a great tight end. And their defense is one of the best in the league. So then, first place, a little bit of a bias towards this team. I have the Green Bay Packers at 10-6. I just think with Aaron Rodgers there, they're going to win the division.
All right, for my NFC North standings, you're not going to like who I have, where I have. Last place, I have the Lions at 5-11. Now, I know you're not going to like this, but their defense, I don't know how to place them. They could be good, they could not be. I think they're going to be good, but their offense also, I mean, I don't know either. They have a hard schedule. They have to play Vikings twice and Bears twice, which is not the easiest thing to do.
They seem to own the Packers.
I think that. Well, not last year. I mean, the Packers swept the division last year, so
yeah,
hopefully that can happen again.
Packers got lucky in the first game against Detroit.
Yeah, that is true. All right, now we got the Bears at 6-10. They got Nick Foles, which I think is an upgrade over Mitch Trubisky, but their offense isn't great. And Nick Foles, they got to build the right system about him. But, their defense is still very good. So
I mean, like
we'll
sorry
see.
to cut you off, but Matt Nagy coached Nick Foles. You got to remember that.
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, we got to see if they can build this, if they're willing to build a system around Nick Foles, or maybe they might just start Mitch Trubisky.
Trubisky's a good quarterback.
And no, not really. Okay, second in division, I got the Vikings at 9-7. They lost Stephon Diggs, but they replaced him with Justin Jefferson. I still think Stephon Diggs is a better receiver, and they, like you said, they lost half their defense. So, good quarterbacks trying to tear that apart. Kirk Cousins, I don't know how he's going to perform this year either. He might be a good primetime performer, or he might not be. We'll see. And at 12-4, I have the Green Bay Packers. They have a tough schedule this year, but and they have a new scheme, but they had a new coach last year, and they still went 13-3. The only reason I have them doing a little worse is because they have a harder schedule than last year. But they're going to have some great games this year. We got Aaron Rodgers versus Brady, Aaron Rodgers versus Breeze, and Aaron Rodgers versus Philip Rivers. So those are going to be some good games.
See, exactly what you said. The reason I have them at 10-6. Green Bay was a 13-3 team last year that played like an 11-5. They had a couple lucky wins in there, as much as I love them.
They did have a couple lucky wins, but last year against the Eagles, I think, that wasn't a great ref game either.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look what happened when we played the 49ers. Twice.
Yep. Yeah, we got to find a way to take the running game down.
That's my one prediction for the Packers schedule. I think week 16 and week 9, I believe, when we play the Titans and the 49ers, we're going to get killed.
Yeah, I mean, I think we might have a little bit of a better run defense this year, a little bit of better, but, I don't know. I feel like we might find a way to combat the 49ers this year, considering, they've owned us. They owned us last year.
Yeah. So, Aaron, now that we just talked about our standings, what 7 teams do you have in the playoffs?
All right. So, my first seed with the first round bye is obviously the 49ers. Then the second seed, I have the Packers. Third seed is Saints. Fourth seed is Cowboys. Fifth seed is the Seahawks. Sixth seed is the Vikings. And the seventh seed is the Cardinals.
Okay. So, my first seed, the 49ers. I think they're the best team in the NFC. Then, the second seed at 11-5, I have the Saints. Then, the third at 11-5, I have the Cowboys. Then, the fourth seed at 10-6, I have the Green Bay Packers. Fifth seed, I have the Seattle Seahawks. Sixth seed, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the seventh seed, I have Dwayne Haskins and your Washington Redskins.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be different this year because the second seed isn't as valuable as it used to be.
Seed.
And, got to go for that first seed now to win it. I think the NFC is a tough division to play in with playoffs and all this year. I think it's harder than the AFC. Yeah, I think it is too. I mean, with the AFC, it's kind of more – I think it's more clear-cut. But with the NFC, there's a lot of teams that could surprise us and emerge. Yeah, and there's a lot of young teams out there in the NFC. So
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yep. All right. So this was the NFC rankings. Next, we're going to do the NFC schedule and
Predictions?
what our predictions. Yep. And the next week we're going to do AFC predictions. So this was the Jersey Sports Guys. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and subscribe to the podcast. Follow it, whatever you do. See you next.